Everybody, welcome back to Aniimo. We are gonna be doing Aniimo today instead of Ghost of Tsushima, which would be normally in this slot because Animo's beta ends this week. So I figured we'd go into this game now that I've played it a little more, and now that I can offer hopefully some tips and tricks that might be able to help you guys in the future. Again, this is a beta test, so a lot of this stuff is subject to change. So whether these tips or not will be helpful for you, I don't know. But I'm gonna give it my best shot. So that's Kikibo, my current Aniimo. She is a Prismana Glyncera. Very, very cool critter design. And we'll go into what exactly that means in just a minute here. But first, I'm gonna show you around the world a little bit. So in Aniimo, as far as I understand it, keep in mind, I don't know everything about this game. I am just sharing the experience I've had since starting. And the world is separated into two major areas. You got Ideal, which is where we're at right now, which has this big old map to explore. The branch that we started in the first game is centralized here. So as you can see, I've kind of just sort of exploded from there and been exploring a lot of different things. I've done almost all the sanctums with the exception of two that require two players, so I just haven't had the time to find somebody to do those. But yeah, so the area is littered with these blooms, which is basically your fast travel. You have to run over and activate them the first time, but after that they stay activated and you can use them to fast travel around the world. These little markers here are indicators of Alpha Aniimo, which are Aniimo that are larger than usual and more powerful. They're basically the area mini-bosses, much like Pokemon Legends Arceus if you ever played that game. It's an interesting way to try and catch more evolved forms of Aniimo that you can't otherwise locate just as a natural spawn. And then every area has, you can click it, you have to zoom out to do this, it's a little annoying, but you can click every area to see what your catch progress is. The higher your catch progress, the more you'll be able to do with the area. So you can cultivate it, for example, which I can't do at this moment, but you can cultivate it in order to cause Aniimo to swarm, meaning they appear in greater numbers, or you can even change the weather once your branch gets a high enough level to cause specific weather events if you're looking for a specific Aniimo. So we'll go here real quick. This is how far I've gotten on my branch. I've gotten 70 ambers infused out of a total of 90. And every stage you reach gives you a different buff. So for example, this first stage increases the base probability of catching Aniimo by 10% in breezy plains. To clarify, because it wasn't that obvious for me at first, breezy plains means this whole chunk. It's not just this one little area. It is for all of this, including the Russet Highlands. I believe this next grayed out area, which is not available in the beta right now, and so on and so forth, is probably going to be the different continents that you can go to. But yeah, where I get too distracted. Back to this. As you go along these stages, you also get these little vigor points. So like the first one gets your stamina up by 20%, stamina up by 20%. I think most of these are stamina for breezy plains. Yeah. And staminas, I'm going to show you how that works in a second. But these major ones are what I'm working towards. So we got prospering clusters. This is when you do the cultivation I mentioned earlier. This is when you unlock it. And then this is the weather changing unlock. And then the last one is for shiny Aniimo, which are called sparkling or glistening Aniimo. If you can get 90 ambers, you increase the probability by 50%. So we're going to try to work a little bit towards that. Just to see if I can find a sparkling Aniimo. I did actually find one glistening Aniimo basically really early in the game. It was a super common Aniimo, but it was very random. So they can spawn whether or not you have that. 1 second. But yeah, it's very cute overall. Right. So we're gonna work on the branch a little bit today, which requires basically exploration. So the way to get lumen ambers is you're gonna find these different areas around the world. Some lumen ambers are genuinely just in the overworld for you to grab. Others are in a shielded area. I forget, that's a border wall. When you leave the outpost, you exit basically the player area and enter the world on your own. You don't see other players outside of that outpost. But yeah, so lumen ambers are little pyramid-like blue dots that you can find around the world. And usually you have to complete something specific, whether that be climbing one of these trees to actually reach it, or completing a puzzle like in the Sanctum. Sanctums reward 1 lumen amber per completed puzzle. And what else? There's time attack running courses. I've done most of those as well. And if you catch blessed Aniimo, which are these shiny, they're not sparkling Aniimo, they're not shinies, but they look like they're glowing. Those also give you a lumen amber per catch, but they only spawn once, I think. They don't respawn. Or at least I haven't seen any of them respawn. Done most for this area. There's a sanctum I haven't unlocked to the north because its door is essentially locked by something. I don't understand the puzzle quite yet. But there's quests around the world as well. I believe that also give you lumen amber, so this is a quest. I could be wrong. I don't know what these exclamation points are, per se. This is one of those things that kind of bugs me about the map as it functions right now, is that a lot of these things that seem like they should be interactable are not. I don't know if they indicate area entrances, because this isn't near an area entrance, or something else. I have no idea. But let's see what the weather is today. So the weather is kind of important to keep track of because certain Aniimo only appear during that weather. So you can see this is an Aniimo that only shows up when the weather's rainy. And this is server time. This is not game time. So you can't rest to change the weather, for example. You do have to wait for a weather event, which is a little... I don't personally like it, but since this game is sort of... It sounds like it's aiming to be mobile game-esque. I'm going to assume that is why it works that way. Because otherwise I'm not going to be very happy about it. So I haven't beat this guy yet, actually. And I think I'm high enough level to finally take it on. So we're going to go over there and see. I have a bloom right next to it, so that works. As I mentioned, Alpha Aniimo are these boss Aniimos, and a lot of Aniimo evolutions are actually locked behind beating these bosses. This is where it would be. Oh, maybe this is one of those that shows up at night. Here's an outpost. Oh, I say outpost, but it's more like a camp. You can see other players here if they are also at this camp. But usually it's pretty empty. Most people don't hang around these camps. Let me see here. So this is the main UI. We're going to talk about this briefly because I have to rest to get the weather to go. I'm not a super fan of it because these are actually pretty helpful, but they're not very well explained. Like, I should be able to hover over this, for example, and have a little bubble pop up telling me what it is. I functionally don't know what this one does. Ah, it's counters info. This is a type chart. I did not know there was also type charts for this. But, something new every day. This doesn't seem to work yet. I think this is for customer support, settings. I've actually never been able to find out what this does. It has sent me to different areas every time. I'm not going to click that right now. That's your mail system, and this is to exit the game. But it depends a lot on you taking context cues from a pictogram, which I'm not a big fan of. So, this is my primer G, aka my stamina. I don't know why this game has a stamina system. Again, I'm going to assume it's in response to also wanting a mobile release. I don't personally like it, but it hasn't been super limiting for me specifically. This basically affects what adventures you can do and what loot boxes you can open up. So we're gonna fight this Alpha Aniimo, and if I win, there's gonna be a box. And then the game is gonna ask me, do I want to spend 30 primer G to open the box? And that's when the stamina system comes into play. Again, I don't think that's super helpful, but I have a suspicion that it's related to how they intend to monetize this game, which would be really frustrating. But I'm gonna hold opinions on that till later. Anyways, the rest of it is pretty typical fare. You got your inventory, you can take a look at that, see the different stuff you have. Anipods are basically the Pokeballs of this game. It's what you use to catch Aniimo. Items can include your experience gems, some trait fruits. So you can feed this trait fruit to an Aniimo to give it a rare trait, or swap a rare trait for a common. Think of it like Pokemon abilities, how you can kind of get their hidden abilities in different ways. This would be the way to get the hidden ability. Astronite shards have to do with ascension, so your Aniimos are gonna have level caps at certain stages. I think it starts at 25 or 20, and you're gonna have to ascend them, quote unquote, in order to level them further. It's another system I'm not quite a fan of, because it just artificially blocks progress, but it's nonetheless how it currently works. Resonators, took me a while to understand what resonators were, but basically they're kind of like tools that you can equip, or special items that you can equip to your Aniimo that will give them a buff. And I guess there's another buff that's involved. And you can upgrade these resonators to increase the power of that buff. So I have this max resonator that I use with my Glinsera, which I'm probably gonna keep that Glinsera for launch, and I'll explain how that's gonna happen either. These are all your common items. I'm not gonna go through all of these, but the gist of it is these dewdrop crystals are used in Ascensions. These are like overworld materials. These are just other usables that you can use for the environment. These are vouchers where we can get Anipod Ultras. Anipod Ultras are basically Master Balls. They guarantee whatever Aniimo you have is going to get caught. You need 5 vouchers to trade for an Anipod Ultra. I need to turn in my vouchers. This is a greeting gift. I haven't tried this because I haven't really played with anybody else yet. I kind of doubt I will play with many people before the beta ends, outside of what I need to see the sanctums. But you can give this to your friend, and you guys will have opportunities to get more bond level, and I think the friend gets an opportunity for an egg. This is, I'm actually not sure how to use this, but it looks like an SOS flare, so I'm gonna assume that's how it functions. Fashion vouchers. I actually haven't used any of these because I'm not super huge on fashion. You guys might notice that my character does look different, but that was because I went through and I messed around with the different menus. It's not because I used those vouchers. Mission items. These are all related to whatever you're working on at any given time. Home items. You do get a home in Aniimo, and we can check that out in a minute. I'm just wary about it because I've gotten stuck in it a couple times. But basically anything you harvest or take care of in your home will probably show up here. Aniimo! This is your team. And this is your box. Every Aniimo you catch will show up in one of these boxes. And you can freely swap them wherever you are in the world. So I could just put this guy here right now, for example. But I don't want it, so. And you can click on any Aniimo to just send it to a box right away. These Aniimo are all sorted basically by the order you catch them. I don't know if there's a way to resort them. Some of the buttons here are labeled not very well. But you can organize your boxes here on the Manage tab. Exploration tab has to do with the Aniimo you use to traverse the terrain. So the higher the number, the better they are at doing that specific task. In this case, my Blazon is my climbing Aniimo, my Coordinator is my gliding Aniimo, and my Pranky is my swim Aniimo. I have not found a level 3 swim Aniimo yet. I don't know when or if that will happen in this beta, but I'm not too concerned about it. The higher the number, the better they are at doing their job, and some Aniimo can even properly fly. I've seen their Dragon Aniimo, the only one that I've noticed in this beta so far, which I don't have to show you, but that one can actually fly. But yeah, you can swap them out there. I keep exiting by accident. So you notice the stats here on the right. That's for Kikibo, my Glinsera. She is an elite Glinsera. Basically what this means is that based on their spawns, what potentials they spawn with, they are labeled as a common, a good, or an elite. So as far as I understand it, common is just, you know, it's pretty basic. They're a fairly low stat. They don't have anything super dramatic, though this is kind of unusual. Their potential total is fairly low. Good tends to have at least 2 in every potential. Tends to. I say that with a heavy grain of salt because I don't fully understand the math behind the system. And then the elites have 2 or more stats that are at least 3. So Kikibo is an elite one, and you can see that her stat chart looks a little bit different. That's because I've been training her. But you can always easily see the attribute details here. Again, not a math person. I don't know what these number crunchies mean, except percentage bonuses, and I don't know how those apply. I'm gonna let somebody that's much more smart than me, much smarter, yes, dictate what those are later. But you also get these little personality bonuses. Think of it as natures. I know I'm using a lot of Pokemon comparisons, but it's because it's what people are very familiar with, and I feel like a lot of people that go into Aniimo are going to be coming from, I'm familiar with Pokemon, so this is probably going to be like Pokemon. To their credit, there is a lot that is like Pokemon, but they do it in a different enough way that I find it somewhat enjoyable. So personality is one of those. You get combat bonuses based on their personality, and you might notice that they're kind of like those Myers-Briggs personality tests where it's like ESTP, I'm pretty sure it's like INFPs out here or whatever. But they break it down as to what it means here. So Kikibo is clingy, practical, aloof, and spontaneous. Basically Kikibo is a tsundere, you know? And as a result, each one gives a different bonus. So for being clingy, she has increased physical attack and magic attack by 5%. By being practical, she has increased damage by 5%, so it sounds like a pretty flat buff right there. Being aloof increases her physical defense by 5%, and then being spontaneous increases her damage reduction by 5%. So that's how her stats affect her. I can star her to make her a favorite, which I will, because she is my favorite. And then these potentials here, you're going to notice these little thumbs up by HP and physical attack. This actually doesn't have anything to do with the personality and has everything to do with the Aniimo type it is. So Glinceras, which is her species, specialize in physical attack and HP. So it's recommended that you elevate the physical attack and HP. And if you use a power boosting fruit like I have, the stats that are going to be increased are their 2 recommended stats, which are HP and physical attack. This is why you see this number elevated. So the other way you can elevate this stat a little bit is through training. So your Aniimo, right click is not well placed in this game in my opinion. But your Aniimo has these stats that they start out with, and you can power up these stats through training up to a certain extent. So you can see Kikibo has 26 power-ups, and Chubby has 24 power-ups. Generally speaking, the lower the evolution of the Aniimo, the fewer trainings they have available to them, but since all of my Aniimo are fully evolved, they have a pretty good chunk of trainings available to them, with Kikibo having the most at 26. That means I can trade her 26 pips until I can't trade her anymore. And you use different Astronites for training. So you see this purple Astronite, that's standard Astronite. I need 4 of those to train her again in HP. And just to get started on training, for physical defense, I just need basic Astronite. I only need 2 of those. And that cost increases and then becomes standard Astronite as it gets higher. Until you reach the top, which uses, I'm gonna assume it's called rare Astronite at this moment, because they're pretty basic naming structures, but it's basically a golden crystal, which is one of the rare ones to get. But I've been working on getting Kikibo's training to 10 for this one. I'm probably going to try to do the same for physical attack. After that, I'm not entirely sure. Probably going to work on her defense a bit. But she is a DPS Aniimo, so I might try to do her rapid. I don't fully understand, besides the obvious ones, right? Like physical attack, magic defense, physical defense. I get how that works. I don't understand 100% how rapid affects the battle, and you're gonna kind of see what I mean by that. Because it's not turn-based, and you are actively controlling the critter that you're fighting with. So let's go ahead and rest tonight. Cannot use this feature in the current state. Why not? Been able to do it this whole time. Oh, there we go. There it is. So different Aniimo show up at different points in time in the day. And that's pretty typical fare for creature catchers these days. We're gonna fight this one. I've never fought this one, so get ready for a very poor performance. But we're high enough level that I think I could take it on, so. I don't see its health bar, actually. I think it's bugged out. Haha, bug. Yeah, I think it's bugged out. Let me leave for a second. So typically Alpha Aniimo, just an FYI, they have a health bar. And you can see exactly what you're doing. But it took me a second to realize that I could not. Sensitivity's a little high, but I can deal with that. Let's try this again. You have a health bar now. No, apparently not. Okay. Okay! Let me leave! We're gonna go to this blue. This is the troubleshooting part of the stream that we always have. But at least it's not my fault this time. It's just the game being the game. Try this one more time. Alright. Can I fight you now? No, apparently not. So, we're gonna leave. And find a different Alpha Aniimo. I'd rather not be here for 2 hours trying to figure out if you have an invisible health bar or not. I do need to beat Chubby though, so we'll go fight Chubby. Alright. Going back to our topic really quick on Luminambers. This is one of those activities that ended up giving me a Luminamber. I had to go through and activate each of these Echo Back chimes. And it was part of a mission. And it was really pretty. It resulted in like a huge constellation of an Echo Back coming out, which is a giant whale thing. And going to sing to like its family out in the sea. It was very cute. There's some really, really cute and adorable elements in this game. I'm really, really hoping the monetization doesn't ruin it as much as I fear it will. Alright, Chubby. Oh, you don't have a health bar either. This is a little bit more problematic than I expected. Alright, So it could be that I need to relog and restart the game to get the health bars back. So we'll just not worry about it for now. Anyways, so you guys know a little bit more about Aniimos. This is basically how you're gonna manage them all. You can only have 4 Aniimo on you at any one time. If you're in a battle, you cannot swap Aniimo while in a battle. So there's that. If you want to level up Aniimo further, you have to ascend them. So I think Fenaloon is ready to ascend. So we need some dewdrop crystals and a lightstone. Boom, Fenaloon's level cap is now 40. Again, I'm not a big fan of level capping in such frequent intervals, but I'm going to suspect it has to do with what they intend to monetize, which will make me very sad, because it's essentially just block progression for nothing. Your log tells you what you're doing in the story. The story goes very fast, and I don't mean in terms of, like, I can complete this in 3 hours. I mean in terms of, just everybody talks so fast. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing. So assessments. This has to do with the grades you can reach. If you're doing poorly at a story, they recommend you focus on assessments. I've been doing nothing but assessments because the story is actually pretty long in that I have to go and do a bunch of different things in order to get the items to continue the actual story chapter. Travel logs are basically side stories. So this one I actually already did. I don't know why this is the way that it is. I'm gonna assume it's a bug. But, these are just, as you go through the world, you're gonna encounter people. And you can talk to people to get these little side quests, and they will give you these little items in exchange. But these are the main quests appeared. Appearance! This is what I messed with before. So you can go through the appearance tab. This is a beta version, of course, so I don't know how much is or is not freely available. But you can purchase different gear from the shop. I'm actually not a fan of a lot of this gear, so I don't really care about it, which is also why I haven't done anything with it. I did use the new adventurer gear, because that looks like gear I would actually use on an adventure. But your Aniimo can also have equipped gear. Unfortunately, it's kind of like attached to different tracking points that don't 100% make sense. So this one's just floating off to the side. But I know, for example, my Scorch Howl can have one of the Glyncera's ice blades, as an example, on its back. So that's kind of cool. I'm assuming they're working on this system. But, oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh, we're getting close. Getting close. Oh, not close enough. Take that to the right. That up a little bit. Put that back a little bit. I think that's as close as we're getting. I think that's as close as we're gonna get with this accessory. But now you can see that you can kind of position it. It's still very strange. I hope they continue to work on that. But yeah, your Aniimo can have accessories. You can also design your character cosmetic surgery, so you can do I think that's a poor way to phrase it, but I get it, I understand it. You do this to change the physical features of your character. Hairstyle you do to change just the hair portion. And with the hair specifically, you can also do highlights and gradients. So I have a gradient right now to get the purple on. But if I did highlights, there would be more streaks through the character itself. So yeah, that's appearance. This is the character tab. This is something I also frequently open by accident. You can set your different skills here. These are not available yet as of this beta test. But this is your overworld skill, where you can use... This is, I have like the gravity pole, just basically the kinetic thing from Tears of the Kingdom. HP recovery, so you can recover on the go. Mega Mallet, which is to do break or destroy solid objects. Arrow Board, which is to move a bit quicker. Haven't used it. Swole Shroom, which is to make your Aniimo larger and do more damage. And Defense Command, which is to make your Aniimo defend or block or however it works. I haven't used this one. I haven't even unlocked this one because I just spend a lot of time twined already. I don't see much use of it. But they are pretty handy for those that know how to effectively use them, which I'm not going to claim I am one of those. Combat skill set. This is the skill set that appears when you're in combat. So you can... I have Swole Shroom and I have Health Restore. I've had limited success with Health Restore. I don't know if it works in combat. It doesn't say that it doesn't, so... Oh yeah, I have report cards. So this is your talent tree. As you go up in title promotions, you get access to new talents. So I'm a skilled pathfinder right now. These are all the talents I could unlock. And there's 4 different resource types to unlock talents with. I'm not 100% sure which is acquired how, but my basic understanding is as you increase in title promotion, you get a certain amount of report cards plus 1 demo tape. You could use this demo tape to unlock, this is a demo tape area, to unlock one of these. So I need 3 demo tapes for this one. And then 5 demo tapes for this one. We'll use this one. Got it. So, actually I only need 2 demo tapes. I only really needed 1 more. So I'm not understanding that properly. It's not very well enlightened. But, this is for the major skills that you can actively use. I'm going to call them active skills because these are skills that you can purposefully use and choose when you use them. Then you have skill enhancements, which is buffs. So like enhanced twining, which we're going to upgrade because that's great. Fantastic. Some of these are locked. The higher levels are locked behind other Pathfinder levels. So I can't do elemental boost to the 3rd level because I'm not a veteran Pathfinder yet. Same thing with elemental ward. But all of these are basically extra buffs or reductions in cost. So this one, Nimble Dodge, reduces the cost for dodging, which is a stamina bar that you also see when I'm gliding or swimming or any of that. It all uses stamina. Charging speed, I will learn. Because that's nice. That's for ultimate. I haven't been through this since I've leveled up my Pathfinder. So Aniimo training, I think, has to do with your Anilog. So the more you fill your Anilog and report that, the more Aniimo training report cards you get. I think. There's a whole lot of this game that's not well explained. But these report cards are different than these report cards, and the only reason given for that is nothing. So, this last one is uncommon evolutions. You need report cards to unlock very specific Aniimo evolutions. So, for this one, that's Trumper's uncommon evolution, and then this one is for Witchin's uncommon evolution. So if you have specific Aniimo you're still adding to the Anilog, this is the only way you'll get their evolution path. There are... These Animos are in the overworld and you can catch them on rare occasions and still add them to your Anilog on that way as well. Alright, so we need to learn 4 report cards, so we're gonna do this, upgrade that again. Upgrade that. Okay. Get that. Alright, so the green one is just referring to the unlock capacity for this. And then the one below is just the cost. That's not very intuitive, but a lot, like, as I've gotten further into this beta, I've seen a lot of issues and tweaks that needs to happen with their localization. Unfortunately, I'm not a technical writer, so I don't, while I see it in the moment, I don't have like a document with all this stuff set up to give it to them, because I don't know what they're doing for localization. I don't know how their system is working, so, but it is feedback that still needs to be provided, so I'll do my best to give that to them later. Anyways, we're gonna learn this, because that increases the Anipod level. Anipods come in levels that allow you to catch higher level critters, so as you get higher in terms of Pathfinder level, the critters in the world will also climb level. So it's not like you start in the Nimbus fields, right, where it says 1 through 15, and it stays there. No, as you go higher in level, you're gonna encounter higher level Aniimo out in the world as well, which is nice. It keeps them relevant to fighting. And also capture. So I haven't gotten veteran. We might as well try to get to veteran. I just need to report 40 Aniimo because I'm 4 levels short of... Do any of you have health bars first? Let me check that. Okay, you have a health bar. You are one stubborn little oddie. Well, it's gone now. As you've noticed, I've been doing a lot of twining with my Aniimo. You don't have to twine all the time. I just do it because it's a lot easier to travel when you're not on foot. I mean, I am technically still on foot just doing Aniimo, but I can do this with my Aniimo and run even faster. It's great for traveling. So my promotion assessment. Promotion assessments are basically little quizzes that the game gives you after you meet the requirements in order to determine if you've learned the necessary information to continue taking on increasing challenge in Ideal. So it'll be questions about game mechanics, including how can you get stronger Aniimo? What does potential have to do with? What do traits have to do with? You know, stuff like that. Some of them are pretty good. Other questions, I mean, a lot of questions are really easy. Some of the questions can be a little more obscure if you're just not paying attention. But overall, I haven't been really mad at the assessments. The only thing I've been mad about is just the expectation of... Maybe not the expectation of discovery, but the opaqueness of what feels like critical systems at times. Because a lot of this, yeah, I did have to learn on the go, but I would have appreciated being able to also read about it, you know? Give the option for people to read about it, because some people don't, for better or worse, some people can't always catch on to the systems that are available in the game, and that's not entirely their fault in this game especially, because a lot of them are very opaque. And so some people might get frustrated with these little quizzes or tests, or just not learn the required information. It would be nice to have a sort of tutorial section that's more fleshed out than what's already in the game, but for advanced topics, so people can look into those things and understand them a bit better, rather than depending on maybe a wiki from the community later down the line that might do a better job at explaining these systems. But anyways, I'm gonna restart my game real quick to see if that's what gets us back the alpha health bars. But for that, let's get our elite training business done. So as you can see, there's a little bar here. As you complete Polaris Institute tasks, you get different rewards. Each one of these tasks are worth different amounts to this bar. Once I complete all the tasks, I get a hold of Somniwing. It's a super rare Aniimo. I don't personally care about it, but it's there. And these also count towards that as well, so if you didn't want to do as much combat, you could do more world exploration. Aniimo training counts towards it as well, so this is all 108 points that I've gathered from these three. I haven't done much in the Art of Living, mostly because I haven't really done much with other players or even spent a lot of credits. Yeah. Elite training is the main one that you're gonna be using for level up missions and such. So since we need some Astronite. I did actually do this one. For whatever reason, it didn't count it, but I did actually do it. I haven't released an Aniimo. I actually haven't even... All these Aniimos have just been there. Like they've just been existing in my box. I actually don't functionally know how to release an Aniimo at this point in time. Okay. Actually, organize all of them. Oh yeah. There we go. That's much cleaner. Now, how do I release you? That's a good question. Yeah, I have no idea. There it is. I'm gonna release one of those. There you go. Be free. Be free. And we have released one Aniimo, so that should count for that. There we go. This is done. This is done. This is done. Done. Yup. 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 There we go. I've got the Somni Wing. Yay! Oh goodness. I'm gonna be hearing that ping for a while. Oh, I have to talk to Dr. Lewis for this. Okay. I'm going to assume that, again, I don't have proof of this at this moment. This hasn't really been explained to anybody. But that bar that gives you the Somnowing, I'm going to assume there are inevitably going to be battle passes in this game. And that battle pass will be doing those tasks in order to get those kinds of Aniimo. That is just my suspicion. I don't know if it's true. I'm not going to posit if it is or isn't. This is all speculation on my part.
Go.
Alright, we got Somnowing. We got eggs to hatch. You do get a little hatching device from the beginning, which is nice. Oh, that's a player. I just want to use the hatchinator. You can see roughly what you're gonna get as you press these little circles. I don't 100% know what the benefit of pressing all the circles are. Like, I'm pretty sure even if I didn't click on them, I would still end up with something. I think it's just... I don't know. I don't know enough about the egg. It is just egg. Oh hey, look! We got Ignitus! That's one less one I have to go and evolve then. I do still want to go fight that alpha though. We'll hold off on restarting. Because there is one other place I can actually show you what an alpha boss fight looks like. You got a lot of puffies on you. I didn't notice that on this form before. Huh. Cute though. So Lumen stage is their baby stage, Gamma stage is their middle evolution, and Nova stage is their second stage evolution. It's a hummin'! Let's see what's left here. I freaking love the Deweys. They are so freaking cute. Ooh. Earth Nova. A Waleedle. I haven't actually seen this one before. Yeah, the other way to unlock a lot of evolutions is just to obtain the evolution. Anyways, I think this is a good time to talk about the Anilog. The Anilog is going to be essentially your Pokédex. This is where all the critters you've seen are going to be listed. The ones that you've seen but haven't caught are going to be in gray. The ones that you have seen and caught are going to be in color. And as you catch them, you gain rewards for researching them. Again, much like Pokemon Legends Arceus. Different research tiers give you different rewards, with the maximum bringing you this little special reward. There is additionally this higher potential tier. I don't really know what that means. I'm gonna assume that it means that those specific Aniimo can show up with higher stats naturally more frequently, but I want you to take that with a huge grain of salt. There's a lot that this game just really doesn't tell you well. And this could also just be a translation error, as there have been in other sections of the game. You can earn research points by studying the Aniimo as well, and as you study the Aniimo, these blurbs will pop up. So in this case, Witchins produce a horrible sound wave to make whoever trespass on their territory pass out, and then they will be thrown out. And then this you can click to get a tip on how to get this this blurb, and it'll talk about it. So Glinsera is probably the one I have most complete. I'm pretty sure I have that diamond level, but one of its requirements I can't complete because I accidentally killed the most powerful Glinsera very early on. And I didn't realize I had to approach it with something else. But you can see I've fully maximized my research points with the exception of this, which I don't know how to do. If I could get 50 more research points towards that, if I could have just approached the Alpha Glinsera, but I can't. Now, Glinsera has a Prismana form. What does that mean? It is a special form that appears during a weather event called the Prismana Flow. Only one appears at a time per Prismana Flow, and it doesn't respawn, so if you chase it off, you're out of luck. The Prismana form is this white and red looking... freaking right click. So, if any developer on the offhand is watching this, which I don't think you are, but if you are, please make right click contextual. Don't make it an exit button. This happens to me all the time. It's so painful. Like, I should be able to right click and drag just to move the Aniimo around. I shouldn't just be exiting because I right clicked. This is gonna be a pain point for me until the end of time. But anyways, as I was saying, the common has two basic forms, which is the basic one, which is this blue husky wolf thing with giant ears. And then Prismana form, which is red and white, and has a lot more of those Okami-like colors. but there's also a sparkling form. I have not seen either form in sparkling, so I can't show you what that looks like on the Anilog, but assumably there is a sparkling Prismana form, which I'm very excited to see at some point. I don't think... I've already used up my one Prismana float just trying it out to get a Glinsera, and I got a really good one. So I don't think I'm gonna get lucky enough to somehow trigger another Prismana flow, and then somehow on top of that, manage to make the one spawn that appears shiny. But it's my goal in life, assuming that the game doesn't suck, to come back to this and get a shiny form of that. So that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so you can see different things about the Aniimo, and then you see this bar on the left. So the second tab is for your research tasks. These are tasks you can complete for more research rewards on the Aniimo. These are the combat skills the Aniimo can learn, as well as its traits. So this is the rare trait. This is the basic trait. As well as its mobility skills. Basically skills that you can use in the overworld. If you see mobility skills, up until they find a better way to describe that, just assume it is for the overworld. This is their family's preferences. So as you can see, they're good at physical attack and rapid movement. So that's what you should probably focus on when training one of these. Here is their evolutionary tree. You can see the basic form, but you can also click on the evolved form, even if you don't have it, and it will tell you how to unlock that evolved form. These are the different forms of the Aniimo. I'm assuming sparkling form will also appear here if you find one. And then these are moments. So if you capture a screenshot of the Aniimo, it will appear here. So I don't think I have moments for any of these because I don't actually use the screenshot feature in any game very often. Ah, I have some for Flame Ruff when I was experimenting with photos. You can actually share these shots as well, and it'll have that little Aniimo logo there. So it's a fun way to collect moments for your favorite critters. And then of course you have this overworld Anilog listing. You can click and drag to quickly scroll, or you can use a scroll wheel, but scroll wheel is very slow. You cannot quickly scroll with scroll wheel. It's very sad. As you complete your Anilog, you will gain different rewards, with the full set of rewards coming to a Prismana Sharo should you capture all 62 Aniimo in the Anilog, which I don't think I will successfully do before this is over. But that's okay, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm not really bothered about it. Because I know how to just talk people's ears off. So we're gonna look at the event calendar next because this is relevant. So there's a sign-in calendar here. You sign in every day. It tells you when you get your next bonus, and you get a reward, and you move on with your life. With the 7th reward being a sparkling egg, which I assume to be just an especially rare egg. I don't know what's in it. There is actually no listing for what can hatch from this, which I think would be a boost for people to see. But I also see the other argument of, well, people might not be willing to log in as often if they know what the chances of a specific Aniimo are in the egg. Or if they see that an Aniimo is missing from the egg and it's the Aniimo they want, or something like that. Aniimo research. This is basically your dailies. You have to go and find these Aniimo and take pictures of them or catch them, track them in general, and you get these little research points that give you bonuses. And this is just your little daily bonus for the day. I'm actually not entirely sure how this works. Oh, I had to take a picture. Well, too late for that. I don't have any more Prismana boosts. Because I was like, I have this Glinsera. But you can complete these investigations in order to get more boosts. Oh, that's from the... Oh! Got you, got you. That's interesting. Yeah. That's cool. But yeah, you get a little boost for that. This is specific to the beta. This is the Trials of Reunion. So if you complete a certain amount of these tasks, you can get special rewards, including a testing invitation to their next beta test, which I have successfully completed. So I am feeling pretty happy about it. I'm gonna still try to get 60 indexes, because I kind of wanna. And I'm close. I only have 8 more indexes to go. And then the second tab is for vein guarding, which is basically just branch growing, so the more lumen amber you submit, the better. I'm trying to get to level 9 anyways, because I'm trying to get the shiny boost unlock. I want to see if I can find that sparkling Glinsera I've been wanting before the beta's over. And then holo battle sims have to do with their holo battles, which we're going to try one in a minute here. Basically dungeons, all themed after a specific element that you have to complete a certain amount of floors of in order to complete the dungeon overall. It's not very well explained. I actually had to, quote-unquote, fail the dungeon a few times before I realized what I was supposed to be doing, because I thought it was just like, oh, basic battle, then elite battle, then boss battle, then I get the rewards, right? That sounds pretty straightforward. I was incorrect. It's like, it's a dungeon. It's 10 floors. At least the first one I did was 10 floors. And then you complete that and you get rewards. So I need to clear the Trial of Fire anyways in order to get a specific evolution, so I will probably be doing that. And then the reunion promise. Ignore the typo up there for now. I have known it is there the entire time, guys. I'm pretty sure somebody who wrote this out there knows that it is there. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they hadn't taken the time in one of these patches to literally just add an E there, but we're gonna ignore that for now. The reunion promise basically says, by the end of the beta, pick your most beloved Aniimo, and it'll be stored in an egg until launch time. So all beta testers are going to be able to select their Aniimo, their favorite Aniimo, and tuck it into the egg. There's specific Aniimo that can't be tucked into the egg. For example, Lunara, Helion, and Vsauce, which is that ugly hecker up there. Those 3 can't be put into the egg, but I think everything else is fair game. And then these are Aniimo's official communities. I am a part of their Discord. Very cute, but not very active from the developers, in my opinion. They also have a YouTube, a TikTok, a Facebook, and Instagram. The actual website, which, by the way, that is how I got into this beta test in the first place. I saw their announcement trailer. I said, looks interesting, and I applied through the website. The beta test window, though, is closed, so you can't apply to it anymore. I don't know if after this beta window, if they're going to reopen invitations. I'm going to assume they are, since they are making this beta ticket a thing. And my reasoning for that is essentially they wouldn't be wanting people to play this much to try and get a beta invitation to the next window if they weren't gonna do another lottery system. That's how I see it. The beta ends in, on the 10th, I think. So, either the 10th or the 11th. So either Thursday or Friday. So we're gonna be doing our best to get through that. This is probably the last stream I am gonna do for Aniimo on this specific beta test. But we're gonna definitely come back to this. Alright, so we've gone through the inventory, we've gone through Aniimo, we've gone through the map and the weather. We've gone through the anti-log, we've gone through the log itself, we've gone through characters, appearance. You guys know what a chat is. You guys, I hope know what a friends list is. We haven't gone through the home, but we did go through the event center. We went through elite training. We haven't done holo battles. We did go through the travel album by proxy. This is the tutorial tab. It's not super helpful, even when I've looked into it for specific questions I've had. Never found it, but it does have some handy stuff for just doing like basic stuff around the world. And those tutorials do bring tiny little rewards. So if you're somebody who likes to maximize the amount of rewards you pull out of a game, doing the tutorials is a way to do it. Help, pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna check out home before we do the holo battles because I just kind of want to get it out of the way. But this is the one area that I'm the least knowledgeable on. Right. So I've been away, as you guys can see, for a while. I haven't put anything to production or anything. On strike. There you go. There's nothing going on. Iris has already cleared out all the debris, so I can start building here. You can see there's different lots you can unlock. This is all in-game explained as a simulation. For people who want to settle in Ideal. Make of that what you will. We're gonna reap this. So I got some wheat. Reclaim. Which is just tilling essentially. And then we can sow. Apparently Iris also does. This is a device that you can use to make any pods. This is a storage box, and this is a shop where you can sell your ingredients. This is where we reach the limit of my understanding of this. I actually don't build very often. I don't do a lot with home instances. I want to do more, but I'm not that creative. You can see your log to see what you still need to do and what needs to be done around the house. So, for example, Iris was really unhappy, but we solved it, so now it's on my solve tab. With 6, you can put some Aniimo in your house. We'll do one of my witchens, I guess. And these Aniimo will start doing different things around your house where relevant. So if I still had debris here, which Iris already cleared out, then Witchen would probably move around to start hauling away some of that debris. It is worth noting that if you put one of your favorite Aniimo in here, they cannot be in your combat roster. So I would definitely work on a separate team for home management if that's something that concerns you. Building! You can do different functional facilities. So there's the oven, the dryer, the mill. And even the game itself has mentioned that a lot of this is... that this home trial is a trial even in the beta state. As in, there's just not a lot to it yet. So... this is just severely limited, but we can do road tiles... can do fencing. Can put trees and stuff here. These are other decorations you can put in. And they look kind of wonky right now. I'm pretty sure they're going to polish them up as they get closer to release. But it's, from my understanding, it's not only just a fully customizable space for you, but it is also very helpful space for you in that you can use this space to create things that you can then use in the overworld. Whew. But that's as far as I'm gonna go into that, because I just don't have anything for this space. I can't show you guys too much about the home. I'm not an expert in it, I'm sorry. So we're gonna leave home now. You can enter home from wherever, by the way. It doesn't have to be in Astra or Ideal, which we haven't gone into Astra. But I don't think we're gonna go into Astra. Just know Astra is a city. It is, I haven't done much with it, but it is a city with different sections that you can then go to in order to do different things. So the Polaris Institute is one of those sections. And the north side is another section. I believe this is a different section that I also could go to. Haven't done it yet. Astra's the city that's floating above Ideal. I don't think we can see it from here. But it's just a different map, essentially. Alright, now that we're here, we're gonna go do a holo battle. Holo battles are unlocked once you reach grade 3, and they're basically treated as training. And you gotta go through it stage by stage. Once you beat these, you have these elemental challenges. So we need to finish the Trial of Fire. But to get there, we need to finish the water training first. So... don't know if I have enough for this. Swap you with Somniwing. And I wonder. I don't think I can. So the other thing about building your team is that you can't have multiple of the same type. And I'm gonna assume that Prismana Glinsera is the same type as... oh, it's not! It's not! Huh. 300, 6.5, 6.4, 295. Okay. Upgrade you real quick. And... there we go. Now we're a little bit more competitive. Kikibo. I think the max Kikibo can get is 40. Because I am currently 40. So we're gonna upgrade you one more time. And max out the level here. Don't need you on the team north. So I'm gonna take Fenaloon. As soon as I figure out where Fenaloon went. Ah, there it is. And likewise, we will upgrade Fenaloon. Okay. We should be able to go from there. Hopefully these will have health bars. I assume. If not, then I know it's definitely my game. The healing supply for the first one. So you get holo gizmos as you enter the battle simulation, and every time you complete a level successfully, you gain more holo gizmos. I like this one better. These both are pretty good, but I'm gonna take this one. So this is where I got mixed up the first time. So when I finished this first level, I was like, oh, okay, so we just did this one. I don't have to do this one again. I need to do the elite battle. That's not true. This is just the first floor. You can see on the upper left corner, I am on floor 1 out of 10. So I'm gonna keep things pretty basic for now. Because we don't get to heal between battles very frequently. 35% of excess healing amount will be converted into a shield, capped at 35% of your max HP, lasting for 20 seconds. Or recovers 15% of max HP within 3 seconds when your HP is lower than 50%. I think I will take this one. I like Breaking Strike a lot, because that's a really chunky increase in damage, or break damage. But I'm more interested in keeping my HP up. So again, we're gonna do the easy battle because we're not towards the end. And I'm not exactly looking for a challenge, I'm just trying to get through this. So you might notice that my abilities say control and melee. That is because one of my skills is in fact a control skill. I'll explain it in a moment. I can't do it on this map because of the water. Right. So control skills. Glinsera has a pretty good one. And it's my Ice Blade going out in a boomerang style, basically. And any creature it goes through, as long as it's not a boss, it doesn't really work on the bosses, will get frozen and then dragged back to me. And it's a little bit buggy. As you saw in that last fight, I threw it out a couple times, and all I did was create a bunch of ice fields because I'm on water. And it seems, at least it is my understanding as of this moment in time, it seems like if there's a chance that an ice field will be created instead, it'll do that rather than actually control the critter and bring it close. It's a little annoying when you want to bring them close together so you can DPS them all at the same time. Gains 1 point of damage reduction for each 8 points of physical defense and magic defense you have, which I don't have a lot. I don't know what that means. This is an example of something that needs to be clarified. Permanently increases your healing amount by 1% for each 30 impulses you launch or bounce away. I'm going to assume it means ranged attacks. Or otherwise, a healing Aniimo is also a thing. It could be impulses from a support Aniimo. I don't know. Increases damage reduction by 20% when your HP is lower than 50%. Now that's good. That's good stuff right there. That is my transformation power. So I've only used the transformation once ever, and it usually results in, or I can't say usually because I've only done it once, but it resulted in my best Aniimo fainting, so I'm a bit wary of them. I don't fully understand the mechanic, but it is a way to have a helpful Aniimo on hand to support your team, essentially. Here's a boss. Trying to clear some of his little mobs out. So as you can see, Glinsera is a melee range Aniimo, which means things get a little bit complicated if you depend a lot on ranged attacking. Which is, in this case, where the complication is those giant AoEs he does. Got him. %35% excess healing. I don't do any healing, so that doesn't help. Doesn't help. Converts 50% damage taken into true damage, which will be dealt within 5 seconds. Don't know what that means fully, but we're gonna take it because the other two I can't really use. Gains a shield of 5% max HP every 10 seconds. When a shield is active, each time you take damage, one energy bomb will be launched at the closest target, dealing damage equal to 1.5% of its max HP. I do like that. %25% skill damage increase. After using skill, recover 1/4 of a point of energy points, which is those little blue circles you see at the bottom of the screen. I think it's between these two, honestly, and I'm gonna do the reflective shield because I do like the idea of counter damage. There you go. So now we can heal. Oh no! Well, I forgot to grab that chest. Oh well. All my stuff is good. So this restoration is for if your Aniimo faints. I've never been fully clear on it until now, but yes, if your Aniimo faints, you can revive one of them using this restoration tab. Otherwise, you can go to the Hollow Battle Sim Assistant, click healing, and boom, you are healed. We can also trade for another Hollow Gizmo. Oh yeah, this one's nice. I like this one. We're gonna take this one. Take a bow essentially just says if there's a chance that anytime I use a skill, doesn't have to be my ultimate, but a skill, if the remaining HP on any regular target is 15, or on alphas and omegas, which are bosses, is 10, then there's a chance they'll be executed. So that's it's really nice to have. We're gonna take that. Alright. On to the next one. I'm gonna try this summoning. Alright, so that's just an area of effect. Got it. She doesn't really do much, does she? Well, this isn't one I mind sacrificing to see what this transformation is. I think if it's between these two, I'm gonna just use this. Oh, not using that. Don't need that. Number of bounces of repairing matrix by 3. None of these are very useful for me. But we'll go ahead and take this one because it's a vitality module. And you do get certain bonuses if you have a certain amount of vitality modules. Well, a certain amount of any module. Basically, the more of you have of a specific type of module, there are certain gizmos that give you bonuses based on that. Okay, we're on floor 7. Fighting a Mind Spine. Or not a Mind Spine. It's a Peblin. Oh my goodness. It's like a little horde of piranhas. They attack so fast. Skills after casting each 6 skills. Next skill doesn't consume EP. Become immune to all damage for 3 seconds when you take lethal damage. Retreat. This one. I feel like this one has a longer term use than that, so. Ideally, I don't want to be taking lethal damage in the first place. Let's see what this unknown one is. Aim for the finish line. With just a little bit of luck, you can achieve amazing returns on investment from a Holo Lotto, purchasing tossing chances with training coins. The cost for each toss increases with each attempt. The rewards in the area where you toss land, where your toss lands will be yours. Now aim for the finish line and go. Okay. Never done these before. Let me see. One more. Okay. It's a Holo Gizmo? Oh! Holo Gizmo Mark 1. I just need 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Not the most helpful Holo Gizmo, but that's okay. We rest. Now get some healing. And on to the boss. The last floor. To get some resonators. Yay! Now we're in Astra. Some echo back holograms swimming around. Actually haven't seen much of Astra, so I don't have much of an opinion on it. But it's basically the city floating above Ideal, the planet. I don't really know the lore reason behind any of this, but fashion blogger? See what's in here. Ah, this is where you actually go buy the stuff. Gotcha. An Ember Pop backpack. That's adorable. You can wear multiple accessories, by the way. It's not like a one and done type thing. Anyways. We finished the water trading. What do I get for that? Yay! Purchase one resonator in the Trial of Fire. Okay. Alright, that's the big one. It's the big one we gotta do. I don't have many water Aniimos, which is the problem. Or really good dark Aniimos, for that matter. I got one that is, in the very least, an elite dark Aniimo. Elite water type Aniimo. I don't know who Morty Fluff is. I'm sorry, Morty, I don't know who you are. I see. I think they're both healers though, which is the problem. Yeah, they're all healers, so... Also not level 40, which is a big problem. 23 to 45. Let's go check on my Aniimo and see if we can put something together real quick. Did I do this again? Ah, here we go. Organize. Aniimo serial number. Organize all. Yes. Okay. Now everything should be organized by what it needs to be. I don't have the evolution for Dewy because I haven't seen a Fragranceer. That's the only thing it can evolve into. So I think my best bet is probably Ignitus. I thought I had an elite one. Kinda surprised I don't. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Ignitus because I don't have anything else dark type that can't evolve right now. So we're gonna find the best one we can. Oh, good lord. Alright. Between you two, this one's the better one. Oh, this one's pretty good too, but that rapid potential is rough. So... oh, good lord, look at the difference. Oh, I can see what it would look like if I had everything maxed. Okay. Well, let's train you first. Oh, I have to defeat the Alpha Ignitus. Oops. Okay, then I guess I'm rolling with this. Let's upgrade you to the max. Okay. Max again. Darn. I need more Wisptis Drewdrop crystals. Still think I could make it work. I have brute forced my way through stuff before. We'll do it once. We'll do it once, and if I can get through it, sure. If not, then I'll just have to do it off stream. I really only want to beat this trial just to get access to the Infergon evolution anyways. We're gonna do our best. I guess Chubby is an option. Chubby is tanky. Let's see here. What can you do for me, Chubby? Well, you can't ascend anyways. That's okay. I don't think North is ascended either. Out of this item? What do you mean I'm out of this item? Oh, the upgrade. I need more Ember Pup Dewdrop. Oh well. Think this is as good as we're gonna get. Kikibo is going to suffer, but we are gonna try and make it work. I got through water pretty well, so... I'm gonna do this one first. Start strong. And we're gonna use Lunala here. You might notice that I didn't, like, stack my team with chubbies. That's because... well, one, I don't have that many chubbies. And two, you actually can't have multiple of the same type of Aniimo. Apparently, for the purposes of the same type, or same species, I should say, Prismana Animos don't count for whatever reason. But in my experience, if I tried to add, for example, 2 Glinceras instead of 1, it would just replace the current Glincera on my team. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. There we go. I'm definitely gonna be wanting that execution buff if we can find it. Your skill defeats a target, you would teleport behind another target, recovering 1 energy point and increasing both physical and magic attack by 3% for 15 seconds. I'm not killing anything fast enough for that to mean anything. Take that one. Go for an easy one. Ember Pups. Let's see how Chubby does against these. Do too bad. Passing each 6 skills, next skill doesn't consume EP. For each energy hollow gizmo you have, boost the damage increase of your skills by 3%. That's what I'm talking about right there. We're gonna need something like that as frequently as possible. Okay, so either a mixed bag or an elite battle. I'm gonna do the mixed bag. Skill damage increase, updating skill, recover 25% points, we'll do that. Alright, they gave us literally the most useless transformation for this map, but that's okay. We'll live. Maybe. Come on, Chubby, don't fail me now! I think Chubby's gonna win this one. I think he's a bit too slow. Bad spot. Oh my goodness! All these ads! Uh, solid try, solid try. That's how hollow battles work. Now there is one more thing you can do that I haven't personally tried. Just leave. That's fine. And that's... Well, I thought... Never mind. I don't know. I unlocked some certain battle event thing that I guess it maybe just isn't available yet. But, yeah. So we're level 43 out of 45. I still gotta catch like 21 more Aniimo before I can finish leveling up to Veteran Pathfinder. But I think at this point, I'm just gonna have to do it off stream. I hope this stream kind of helped you guys see how the game plays a bit better than what the beginning allowed me to show. Obviously, there's a lot of account growth that I did since my last stream, so this isn't really indicative of the final product or how fast you can grow. I'm not going to claim that this is how the game is going to function. In fact, I'm actually of the mind that it's currently a fast growth game because they just need to test as many systems as possible. But I personally think this game looks like, at its current state, looks pretty fun, looks pretty promising. For me, what's going to make or break it is obviously their monetization, and hopefully they fix up a lot of this localization issue as well. They just need to choose better words to describe what they're trying to indicate. I don't have much of a stronger opinion on that. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like my content, consider following so that you know when I'm online next. And if you want to help support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can go to my Ko-fi page and become a Cookie Club member. It is through Cookie Club members like Melanie, Rimfire, and Malthosia that I continue to be able to bring you guys new content to enjoy every day. So many thank you goes out to them. The other way is by shopping at my business, the Mythenville Trading Company. We are actually having our first market at a local Renaissance fair on the 19th. So very excited for that. But you can still shop on the online store. If you're in the US, you're able to get some custom leather crafts. And if you're international, you can still get a bunch of really cool Psycha stickers and shirts and stuff. So feel free to check that out whenever you want. Link is in the About Me. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you on the next stream. Bye-bye!